Camp Shane was one of America's longest-running weight loss camps for kids.
But behind the dramatic results were decades of dark secrets. Secrets that were finally coming out.
We're previewing Camp Shame.
With an M. That's on this episode of So Much Crime,
So Little Time. Welcome to So Much Crime, So Little Time. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Dee, and in this episode we'll introduce you to Camp Shame with an M from iHeart Podcasts.
If you haven't listened to Camp Shame with an M.
With an M.
That is great. This is one of our preview episodes with a P.
Here we only discuss episode 1 and introduce the series. No spoilers for what's to come.
You'll also find a link to Camp Shame with an M in our show notes.
In our next episode, we'll discuss the whole series, but right now we just want to decide if this is a crime that's worth your time.
Time with an M.
Machine with an M and an N. Very confusing.
Let's get into that time machine. All right, Dee. So this story doesn't really have a specific time for a crime, but this camp was founded in 1968. We've never been to 1968. Why don't we go check it out?
We haven't. Yeah, I think we should go check it out. Jeff, I have some of the top movies, some of which I had never heard of before, one of which I really enjoy. So I have some questions about one of the top movies. I wanted to know, though, have you any idea about the top grossing movies in the United States that were released in 1968? Like, would you have any idea of what they might be? Did you spot any while you were researching?
Well, I researched music, and one that I think maybe came out in 1968 was The Graduate.
That's not here.
Okay.
It's not in the top 10.
Mrs. Robinson from The Graduate was a top song. That's not the song I'm going to ask you about, but that's all I have.
Okay.
I don't know what else came out in that year.
Okay, I'm going to give you a rundown. I don't know some of these, right? So we've got Funny Girl, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah. Okay.
The Odd Couple, Bullet.
Yep.
Oliver, Planet of the Apes, Rosemary's Baby, Romeo and Juliet, Yours, Mine and Ours, and The Lion in Winter. They're the top 10 that came out. Did you know a lot of them?
I know all of these. I haven't
okay.
seen all of them, but some of them I've seen many, many times.
Which one have you seen the most of the times? Is it Space Odyssey?
No, I have seen that one like 2 or 3 times, but I kind of hate that movie. Oliver, we used to watch as a kid. Like, we had the VHS. That's the musical, right? Like the
Yeah, that's the one I was like, this is my favorite one, the one that I know about, and I want to do this one. Yeah,
okay,
Oliver is the one that I've got some questions on.
Great. Now, to be fair, I watched this a bunch as a kid. I have not probably seen it since like I was a kid.
Okay, we're going to start with a question about Oliver. Also, side note, my dad's name, Oliver. My son's middle name, Oliver.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. I'm going to start with an interesting fact. I wonder, did you know this? That the film's director, Carol Reed, specifically chose Mark Lester to play Oliver Twist because of a characteristic that was later considered an advantage for his singing voice in the final cut. What was the interesting technical fact about the singing?
Like a technical fact about how he sings?
Yeah.
I can't even remember what his voice sounds like.
A, he was the only child actor who could hit the sustained high note required for Where Is Love. B, all of his singing parts were sped up slightly in post-production to make his voice sound higher and more childlike. C, due to an illness during production, another boy's voice was dubbed in for all of the singing parts. D, he performed all of his songs live on set rather than pre-recording them, a rare technique for a musical.
I want to say A.
Incorrect. Interestingly, the answer I'm going to give is slightly different to the answer explanation, but sure, look, who reads these beforehand? Due to an I actually did read these beforehand, but I obviously skimmed it and missed this. Due to an illness during production, another boy's voice was dubbed in for all his songs. So apparently Mark Lester played the lead role. His singing voice was entirely dubbed by a 14-year-old Cathy Johnson, who was uncredited at the time. This decision was made because Lester's voice began to break to his age during the long filming process.
Wow, but I feel like I remember him being like he was small. I don't know that he was young.
Yeah. Okay, Jack Wilde, who earned an Oscar nomination for his memorable role as the Artful Dodger, had an interesting connection to the actor who played the lead role of Oliver Twist, Mark Lester. What was their shared connection, do you reckon? They were long-time drama school rivals who intensely disliked each other on set. They later co-starred together in a British children's television series called The Boy King. They were actual brothers in real life, though their characters were only friends. Or D, they had both played the role of Oliver Twist in various stage productions before the film.
D.
Yeah. Did you know that for a fact?
No, that was a guess.
Yeah. They had both played the title role in Oliver Twist in the original London stage production at different points in time before being cast in the film as Artful Dodger and Oliver. Thought that was
Can I give you
impressive.
a fun, useless fact about Artful Dodger?
Sure.
Davy Jones from the Monkees. Do you have any questions about him?
No.
Okay.
Hey, we're the Monkees.
Yeah, they had one of the top songs of 1968 that I'm not going to ask you about, Daydream Believer, that Davy Jones sang. Davy Jones got his break playing Artful Dodger, I think in London, and then many years later, yeah, he played Fagin, so it kind of came full circle. Yeah, that's my Monkees Oliver crossover.
Okay, last question. It's all about the opening.
Okay.
Do you know what song was in the opening?
Oh, wow, that's familiar. That's a triggering memory from my childhood.
The opening sequence of the film featuring a bleak and depressing workhouse and the song Food, Glorious Food
yeah,
was shot on a set that had a surprising previous life. Where did the production team film these miserable grey scenes? Was it A, in a historical unused prison wing that was later converted into a museum? B, in a custom-built indoor water tank soundstage at Shepperton Studios? C, at the Royal Naval Dockyard, which was authentically dilapidated at the time? Or D, on a massive permanently maintained set used for a previous historical epic about the Crimean War?
I feel like all these could be true. I'm going to just say A.
I know, yeah. It's actually B, in a custom-built indoor water tank soundstage at Shepperton Studios. The famous workhouse and surrounding bleak street scenes were filmed indoors at Shepperton Studios. The main stage was constructed over a water tank stage, which was normally used for filming scenes that required water effects like ships or floods. The use of this enormous interior space allowed for precise control of lighting and atmosphere.
See, you're going to make me watch this movie again. I haven't seen this movie in so long.
I know. I think I might make my kids watch it.
Yeah, you should. It's good.
Yeah. Isn't that good? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want a break from me talking and you do some songs or something?
Sure. I have one song.
Okay.
I looked at the top songs in Ireland. I looked at the top songs in the US, and there was one song that overlapped. And I'm going to ask you about that song. There were a lot of great songs. There were a lot of songs I never heard of, but this song, I'm pretty sure you're going to know. So this was the top song of the year in the US. It also hit number 1 in Ireland and in a bunch of other places. It came out on August 26, 1968. It is 7 minutes and 12 seconds long. At the time, it was the longest hit single, or maybe the longest single.
Till Meatloaf.
Till Meatloaf. And I was just going to give you some lyrics, but then I have a trivia game about it. But any guesses on what it is before I give you some lyrics? Okay. Here is the opening of the song. Blank, blank, don't make it bad. Take a sad song
and make it better. Hey Jude.
Yeah, Hey Jude by
The Beatles.
The Beatles, yeah. Number 1 song.
I didn't know it was that long.
It's super long. All right, I have 5 trivia questions.
No, 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 no.
They start easy, they get harder.
Because they do that for so long. Okay,
actually,
go on.
That is going to be one of the questions. Wait for it.
Oh.
Question number 1. Who wrote Hey Jude? I have choices for you if you want.
The Beatles. Yeah, okay.
That's specifically. A, Paul McCartney. B, Keith Richards. C, John Lennon. Or D, George Harrison.
D.
George Harrison.
I don't know. I was going to say Paul McCartney.
It is Paul McCartney, yeah. You should have gone with that. Which Beatles son was Hey Jude written for? And the choices are Paul, John, George, or Ringo. It was written for one of their sons. Paul wrote it. Who do you think he wrote it for?
I don't know that Ringo had a son.
Okay, you're ruling out Ringo. That leaves 3.
George Harrison.
Wow, you really just want to pick George.
I don't know why.
That's not correct. Second guess?
Keith Richards?
Not actually in the Beatles.
Oh.
Yeah, he was in the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
It's John.
I was thinking. John Lennon, really? That's
so John Lennon had a son, Julian, one of his sons, Julian Lennon. And Paul wrote the song when John was getting a divorce from Cynthia Powell. And apparently Julian only found out that it was written for him about 20 years later.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Question 3. When Paul McCartney
feels like the communication was really strong there between father and son. If you're never like, you know what we just did today, we thought it might make you feel better.
Well, this was 1968, and I don't know, John and Paul were going through some things. The Beatles were. In fact, that leads me to question number 3. When Paul McCartney started the master take, Ringo Starr left his drumming booth unnoticed by the other Beatles. What was the reason for this? A, he received a phone call. B, he broke his drumsticks and needed new ones. C, he went for a smoke. Or D, he had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, he went for a smoke. No, because he would have just smoked in there. He had to go to the bathroom.
That's right. And that's actually a pretty good deduction. He would have just smoked in there. When he came back, it was just before the drums come in, and he started drumming just in the nick of time.
That's hilarious.
All right, 4. All right, do you remember the catchy part that you were singing before?
Na, 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 na.
Yep. Okay. From the first na to Jude, like that's a phrase, right? How many times do they repeat that in the 7-minute and 12-second long song?
That part?
Yeah. I have choices.
Hold on.
It ends with them saying, Hey Jude.
Shh. I know. Okay, I have a number in my head.
You're going to play the whole song in your head. We're going to pause here. That means 7 minutes and 12 seconds of silence. All right, choices. A, 12. B, 16. C, 18. Or D, 20.
None of those were my number.
What was your number?
7.
Higher. The actual number is higher.
I didn't get much time because you were rushing me. I'm going to say 16.
That's very close.
Is it 18?
It's 18. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they do a lot of fade outs where it's just like, nah, nah. So there's some that you'd like forget were there.
You might say it's a little padded. Okay. Last question. At about roughly, and by the way, these trivia questions are all, I didn't write any of these. These are from funtrivia.com, which is a great source for trivia questions on random things. At about 2 minutes and 53 seconds into the final track, John Lennon yells something. What does he yell? A, from the heart of the black country. B, all right, sing it. C, wrong chord. D, don't make it bad, Jude.
What was number 2? B?
All right, sing it.
So, wrong chord it was Paul McCartney who shouted it.
This is
John.
Like it was John sings this, yells this.
I don't know if he sounds like a Bossy Boots. But that feels like it would be the right one.
Which one?
The first one, I don't feel like it's the first one. What was the first one?
From the heart of the black country.
That feels like it wouldn't be that one. Unless, like, I don't know.
I've lost where you're at with this. You're ruling that one out.
I'm ruling that one out.
You're ruling out.
I think it should be the wrong chord one, but I don't remember hearing that.
That is correct.
All right.
I'll stop you there. You're right.
The wrong chord one is?
Yeah. You can hear it in the recording, but if you go to listen to the Beatles Anthology 3, where there's a different version of the song, John actually does an intro where he says, from the heart of the black country, when I was a robber in Boston Place, you gathered round me with your fine embrace. But that's not in the final single version of the song. All right. Those are my Hey Jude questions.
Okay. I have some wild camps for you that I want you to hear about. What do you reckon is the if you could think of a camp that might be, suitable in the summers for like kids, like up to the age of 18, is there any camp that comes to mind that you're like, that would not exist?
The Hunger Games.
Okay. I'm going to give you a number of camp, like a niche topic of some camps. And I want you to tell me which one of these doesn't or isn't on my list. Maybe it exists, but it's not on my list. We've got a LARP camp. Have you heard about LARP camp before? It's live action role playing.
I've been LARPing. Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. LARP camp.
Okay.
The Hunger Games camp. Spy camp. Space camp.
Okay.
Movie makeup camp.
Okay.
Which one of those does really exist?
Does really exist?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think multiples of these really exist.
Which one of these does not exist?
Oh, I want it to be the Hunger Games because I hope that's not really a thing.
There's various Hunger Games camps. It's a camp in the style of the popular book or movie series was created focusing on strategy, fitness, and team spirit.
And murdering children.
Yeah. Through games where kids try to collect points and steal each other's flags, but without the violent aspect of the fictional games.
Oh, well, okay. That's different.
I mean, all right. I'm going to tell you about a camp that I was shocked exists.
Wait. What was the answer to the question?
Sorry. Oh, all of them exist.
Okay.
So, okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this camp. And I want you to try and guess what the theme of the camp is, okay?
Okay.
It's held in Missouri, at Missouri University of Science and Technology.
You've been to Missouri.
And it's
you know where that is.
multiple times. And this camp is for high school students. So that's age 16 plus, in case you didn't know. I know you knew, but other people didn't know. It offers a hands-on experience with blank. Campers learn proper handling and techniques for turning this thing off. Ending, the very end of the camp, is this massive fireworks display. And I want you to tell me the theme of the camp.
Turning this thing off.
Yes, I didn't know another word for this. Proper handling and turning it off.
Boy, I feel like it's right there. Like you've
stopping it from doing what it was supposed to do.
Nuclear bombs.
No, but that would be wild. It's close though.
Give me a second guess.
Hi. Oh.
What were you about to say? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what you were saying. It's not related to explosives.
It is related to explosives.
But you said it ends with like a fireworks display?
Yeah.
So it's not fireworks, it's not nuclear bombs. What else? What else is there? There's other types of like weaponry? Is it weapons related?
I mean, it's high explosives camp is what it's called. So it offers a hands-on experience with explosives. Campers learn proper handling and detonation. I didn't know how to say that without sounds like turning them off.
Like bombs.
Techniques. Yeah, culminating in setting up a fireworks display that includes high explosives and rock blasting.
How many fingers do campers usually leave with?
I didn't hear, but actually looking at the reviews of that camp could be very interesting. Okay. There's some others that I read about and I was like, this is wild. There's one that's in China. It's about an internet addiction boot camp. Due to concerns over the number of children hooked on the web, controversial military-style boot camps have been established in China to try and wean kids off internet addiction, which is just a bit sad.
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we have the theme of the academic and the macabre. So, do you want to go to... Oh, we've got two in Romania.
Great. I've always wanted to go to Romania. It's supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah, I've heard it's really nice. Okay, so there's a Dracula and vampire lore programs in Transylvania, Romania. Have you heard about this?
No, but I've read Dracula.
Students trace the history and legacy of Vlad the Impaler, Dracula.
Sure.
Visiting his birthplace, castles and archaeological sites while studying vampire lore, Balkan culture and the region's history. Some tours even feature a theatrical ritual killing of a living dead. I don't know what that means. That sounds scary. Okay, last one. This one is kind of like extreme niche. Global adventure. It's in Fiji.
Okay. I'll
This
go.
camp allows teens to study alongside researchers and conservationists. It's highly hands-on, educational, and definitely a high thrill experience. What do you think the focus of the study is in this camp in Fiji?
Oh, you're going to test my ignorance of Fiji.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not the water. Hands-on. Is it related to some type of aquatic?
Hands-on, educational, and definitely high thrill experience.
Sharks.
Yes.
Really?
Shark studies.
Oh, that was a guess.
Diving with sharks to learn about marine biology and the conservation of shark ecosystems.
I mean, I was in for Fiji. I'm out for sharks.
Well, yeah. Wild. Anyway, both the high explosives camp and the Fiji Shark Studies camp, I think this goes up to December 24. They're still running as of last year. They're still a thing, which I thought was fascinating. So is the Dracula vampire programs.
All right.
And the China Internet Addiction Boot Camp.
I feel like the one couple I know that went to Fiji, not for a camp, but just on like a honeymoon or vacation, were basically like, it's so expensive to get here. And then once you get here, everything is so expensive because everything has to be shipped in from really far away. I'm like, to send your kids there, like there's sharks like within like right off the coast of California. You don't have to leave the States.
Let me see the cost.
$1 million. Lots of ways to lose your fingers in these camps. The Hunger Games
22 day camp. What do you think it's going to be?
22 days in Fiji.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess $25,000.
Oh, no.
I'm going to guess $8,000.
Yeah, 8,580.
Well, all right. That's my second guess, but it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Let me try and get the Missouri high explosives.
$12, but you get a discount if you come with 9 or fewer fingers to start.
Oh, guess it.
How long is it? Do we know? It's in Missouri.
No, we know it's in Missouri.
$2,000.
1,500. Includes meals, housing, and camp materials. Jeez, it must be real cheap to buy all the stuff you're blowing up.
I mean, sure. All right. I mean, the insurance alone on that camp must be through the roof.
I don't know. Missouri, man.
That was amazing. That was fun. I like that. I want to talk more about camps, but I think we should save that for the regular discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our time machine.
Amazing.
For today.
Jeff, before we jump into our main segment, we have to speak a little bit about Patreon. Patreon.com/so much crime, so little time. But not our normal chat about Patreon. We need to shout out a few new members. Justin, we see you. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining up. Jack, welcome. Welcome to the family, Jack. Feels like a very mafia thing to say, doesn't it? Welcome to the family. And also, we've had many people upgrading from our lower tiers to our top tier. So thank you again, everyone who's giving us support, who's supporting this tiny show. Just two little people on here chatting a couple of times a week. And we really appreciate all the support. And if you would also like to join patreon.com/so much crime, so little time, if you would like to potentially get some swag, if you join in top tier, if you want to get early release episodes, extended time machines, please go to patreon.com/so much time, so little. Nope, so much crime, so little time. Rolls off the tongue. And you can figure out how to support us. We really appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, Dee. So let's talk about Camp Shame with an M. This podcast with a P came out in the summer of 2025 with a 5. The host...
All right,
stop.
we got to hold off. Yep. We can't do it every line.
There are 8 episodes. They're about 45 minutes long. And our host is Kelsey Snelling, who, according to the bio on the podcast website, her dream is to direct music videos for Billie Eilish, hike the Appalachian Trail, and returned to her previous residence of Alaska to live on a farm overrun with cats. And Camp
Cool.
Shame is her first audio project. What's the story, though?
Alrighty. So the story is about a camp called Camp Shane. This camp was a weight loss camp for kids. It opened in 1968 and promised major results, as much as 35 pounds lost in 8 weeks. We hear from campers from throughout I can't say camp all the time.
Say it however you
We
want.
hear from a huge number of campers throughout the history of this summer establishment. In some ways, it was a sanctuary for acceptance, but also the calorie restrictions were really brutal, leading kids to find creative ways to sneak food and also turn food into currency.
Mm-hmm.
In 2021, the camp suddenly closed, but we don't yet know why. And that's where we leave it off.
Indeed.
Oh, Jeff, I had so many feelings on this.
What are some of your feelings?
I feel like I've overused a phrase recently with some of our podcasts. It's hard to believe this was still going up until 2021. Because when I was listening to it, I was trying to say, oh, is this a product of its time? Like, you know, in the 90s when it was normal for all of this restriction, when, like, you know, that heroin chic look was at the 90s and I say the noughties and you say the what? No, the aughts.
The aughts, yeah.
The aughts were like that kind of heroin chic vibe was very in, and it's all about like slimmer, the better. Was it just a product of its time is what was going through my mind when I was listening to it. But then I kept remembering these are kids. They're teens, like at the most, you know, crucial time in their lives for building their own self-worth and their sense of self. And then you think, oh my God, this was going till 2021. Like what? So I have so many mixed feelings. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know why that's hard to believe. I feel like if anything, body image issues have only gotten worse over time, especially with like teens and kids. Like they're just so much more exposed to unhealthy images and encouraged to adopt unhealthy behaviors around what foods they eat and how much they should exercise and like what they should look like and what they should aspire to, like what the role models should be. I mean, I feel like that's like the curse of like the Marvel movie industry of like, you should look like Thor or like you should look like Barbie.
Yeah, you see, I don't know. Part of me thinks this was all much more of a thing. Or maybe it was that it was a thing with like the mothers or like the 40 and 30-year-olds back in the 90s and in the 2000s. And then it's just filtered down. So it's just gotten younger. But it just feels to me like in the last like decade or maybe... And I think it has switched with the whole like Ozempic and weight loss injections and stuff. I think we're going backwards in with regards to body image and not like saying thin is the goal, but I don't know. It's just they're kids.
Right. But think about the other factors here. So there's like things like social media and just like the images that people are exposed to. There's also the food industry.
Yeah, but it's the parents though. Like the parents are putting them in these camps. I think that's like, I'm not surprised at like the pressure on people or, you know, all of like social media and stuff like that. What I'm surprised about is that kids or like, I don't know, grown ass adults are like, this is a normal thing to do.
But don't you feel like that's sort of the result of like, maybe this is less about like Instagram, at least in recent years, and more about the food industry and like ultra processed foods and just being like exposed to like these like, you know, the Doritos and M&Ms of the world that just make you want to eat junk more. And the parents are suffering from that too. And it's really hard to have a house that doesn't have any of that food in it.
But it's not about that. It's not about that. Like what I'm surprised about is that people think that this, I don't know, the camp was like a good idea.
Well, sure. I mean, why do people think Ozempic's a good idea?
Well, I don't think that's the same thing.
It's not.
Like we heard about, like in the time machine, we heard about so many different types of camps that they're out there that are like niche and like they're folks, whatever. And the idea that I don't know, am I going to sound like an arsehole here? But like, there are fun camps that involve fitness and whatever that aren't focused on like, let's get all the larger bodied kids together.
Yeah, but also, I don't know. I guess, and I had a lot of feelings about this story and listening to this, and it brought back some memories of things from my childhood and things that I remember from my household, as well as just like later things like, I mean, we've talked about this before. I taught at a boarding school, and I remember thinking at the time, why would anyone send their kids to this school? The youngest kids at that school seemed wholly unprepared to be sent away from home and put in this Lord of the Flies-like environment where they were subjected to, like, some of it was really awful. And I don't know. I can see the mindset of a parent saying, like, I have tried everything else to get my kid to be a healthy weight. I'm not saying like super skinny. I'm not saying heroin chic. I'm just saying like a healthy weight, because that is a thing. And this is maybe that magic cure, in the same way that like whatever Oprah is endorsing, I'll buy into that.
Weight Watchers until
Sure.
it was Ozempic.
And then I also, like, I remember, it's funny when they said Snackwell cookies, because I have real bad memories of Snackwell cookies being in my house when I was a kid. And because, yeah, we were for a while a Weight Watchers house, and like there were lots of diet fads that came through my house, and those Snackwell cookies were such garbage. They tasted so bad. And then I remember the Olestra, the diarrhea chips, when that was a thing. I don't think we ever had those in my house, but I definitely remember when that was a thing. And there definitely was that mindset of like, yeah, you can eat these chips. They're healthy. They make you shit all day, but like you do lose weight. So I guess
Because you're shitting it all out.
sure. Yeah. I very much remember that, and that being like a whole big thing. And it was like, oh yeah, that's maybe not good for you. And I feel like I felt kind of old listening to this, because I feel like I have just seen these fads, the South Beach diet. I remember when that was a thing.
Oh God.
You know,
I remember that one.
I mean, it's been one thing after another, right? Like, it's just, today it's Ozempic. Tomorrow it's going to be something else. Like, they're going to discover all of the horrible side effects of some of these things, or why they just don't work. And then it's going to be some other fad. So I feel like this just sort of fits into that. It's a different level, because you're subjected, your parents are putting their kids through this.
Yeah, I do think that's a different thing. Like,
Sure.
I also think that there are benefits to some of the like fads that are out there. It's just like do you remember when gluten free was like the thing? I remember at one point like ordering a sandwich and being like, I'm going to get a gluten free sandwich because, it's healthier. It tastes like fucking shite. I was like, I'm not going to do that again. And like, what is that? Like, you don't need to eat a gluten-free diet unless you like are celiac or you're gluten intolerant or whatever. Like, so
no, we had a friend of the show today. I watched open up a lunch to-go container, and it was a burger with lettuce instead of a bun. And I'm like, I like lettuce, but man, I've never had a burger on lettuce. And maybe I'm missing out. Maybe it's really good. I don't think so. I think it's bad. I think if you're gonna have a burger, eat the bread. Just,
well, I mean, I've had a lettuce bun burger before, a naked burger with lettuce instead. I mean, it's fine. It's not the same, but it's fine. I've also had I made a cauliflower crust pizza before, because I was like,
sure.
I want to have pizza, but I don't want to have like the dough. But like, what is pizza without the dough? It's like tomato sauce and
it's just not the same
cheese.
Thing. Yeah, that's like Snackwells. Snackwells are not technically a cookie. I don't know what they are. They look like a cookie. They don't taste like a cookie. Like, it looks like chocolate. Have you ever had one?
I don't think so.
The problem with them, and I have very vivid memories of this, and this was from like the 90s, so it's been a while, but is that they look just like a chocolate covered cookie. I remember at least the ones that we had. And so you expect that, but both the flavor and the texture are wrong.
They're dry.
They're dry. You don't bite into them the same. Like, just as you bite into them, you're like, oh, something's horribly wrong here. Like you ever bite into it, like an Oreo that is stale. Like an Oreo is supposed to have a little bit of a snap to it, and it's just like, it's mushy. Like, this is a different version of that, where it's just like, this isn't what what I expected, and I hate it. So yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, I had a real strong reaction to Snackwell cookies.
Yeah. I think like our house didn't really have restrictions as such. Like we wouldn't have had like crisps and bars of chocolate and stuff in the house very often because like they wouldn't last. I've said this before. I have 4 older brothers.
Sure.
If like a 6-pack of crisps came in, we were all jumping on it to try and get our favorite flavors out. Christmas, Saturdays and Sundays, there was like a certain number of things brought into the house. Christmas, it was the same with like fizzy drinks. Like fizzy drinks weren't really a thing in our house. I'm sure it was also to do with the fact that it was like expensive at the time. That's a lot of boys to feed.
Sure. Yeah. You can drink tap water.
Yeah, which we did. Tap water or milk. That's what we drank. This is just such a sensitive topic. It's such a sensitive topic. They do give a warning at the start of the first episode.
Yeah.
What I think is maybe, I don't know if it's shocking is the word I want to say here, is like so much of this is like deemed normal still. You know, the part that it said, you know, the kids were put on diets of like 1,200 calories, 1,200 to 1,500 calories. I know a huge amount of people who were like not kids who think that that is like a normal calorie intake to eat for like that's like what a toddler would eat. Actually, I'd say a toddler has to eat more than that, you know, and like I don't know. I think
they said teen girls need 2,200 calories, teen boys need 2,500 calories, and everyone there, regardless of age or gender, was getting 1,200 calories a day.
Like, what did that do to like, say for girls, like to their like menstrual cycles, or to you know, like there's thinking? Just so much like health benefit or health implications of this.
How like hangry were they? Like how cranky were these kids?
They seemed to be like going
days?
into the hunger. You know, we were talking about the Hunger Games before, but like this seems to be like what happened. They were strategizing. They were like trying to like. There was a comparison to prison, how people were using food as currency. How they had like this gap in the fence that they would get the delivery of fast food to, which kind of genius.
Well, also like hiding a pack of gum in the toilet tank. Like,
what's the problem with gum?
So I thought that it's, you know, what's really funny about this is I was listening to that as I was eating an It's-It, walking down the street after running a race, and just like shoving an It's-It into my face and thinking like, man, gum's not really that bad. But it was, I presume it was like sugared gum.
Maybe.
But you're right. Of the things, gum seems like the least objectionable.
Yeah, I don't know. I chose this podcast because it's very different.
Yeah.
I didn't love listening to episode 1, not because of the podcast itself, but because I'm like, where is this going? Like the idea of, and we heard these stories, you'll know their names because I don't remember names. The guy who said like his brother had slagged him so badly that he had stopped swimming, Carl, without his t-shirt on. And then when he got there, and like he has this moment of, oh, and then people are like saying like, go on, take your t-shirt off, like whatever, and he takes it off and he just kind of stands there and is like free and feels that freedom. Like that's a beautiful moment. Like that's such a nice moment. Like that idea of like someone feeling accepted and someone feeling like I've had this hang up for so long, and now I remember it vividly going past that.
I honestly, like, so I had a lot of strong emotional reaction to this, but like that story really hit me because there was definitely a time in my teenage years where I was uncomfortable, like taking my shirt off at the pool. Cause I just like, it's not that I was like overweight, but I was like, I wasn't as skinny or like as muscular as some of my friends were. I mean, that kind of trauma, I think, really sticks with you, right? Like it's very formative and it's very scarring. And it's funny because I remember times as an adult where I was a lot heavier than I was as a teenager, but like going to a pool and being like, whatever, I don't give a fuck anymore, and realize like feeling like it was a moment of like adult accomplishment and maturity, when really it's just like, no, that part of being a teenager sucks. Like it's, and I know it's like it's bad for girls too, but like it's bad for boys, it's bad for everybody. I think it's just. It's just brutal.
Yeah, and it sticks, and I think that's the point of this podcast that I kept like hearing, and I kept being like, oh my God, like so much of this is still a thing. It's so embedded in people's minds, and this whole like new wave of it. We were going into this whole body positivity movement, and then it feels like there's been a whole new wave of it in the last few years. It's just hard to, I don't know, it's going to get worse, isn't it, this podcast?
It is. I'm actually, I mean, I definitely have some unhealthy body image struggles and issues with food. And so this is triggering some things in me, but also like I'm all here for this. And I'm really like optimistic that this is like what I loved about this first episode was that we hear from so many people from throughout the years who attended this camp. And there were some real positive stories. I mean, you talked about the Carl story and the feeling of acceptance, but there were other stories too of just like some ways in which this, I think it was described at one point as a dysfunctional sanctuary. And it's both of those things are true at the same time. It is dysfunctional and it is a sanctuary. And I think in the end, like there's going to be some real bad stuff that we're going to hear. But I'm hoping there's going to be some real good stuff too, because some of these people seem to have like some positive memories of some of the things, some of the elements of their time there. I'm hoping that continues throughout the podcast and doesn't just turn all bleak.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, something that occurred to me as I was listening to this? Parts of these like camp stories and the camps that you're telling about feel very American to me, but I'm not sure if that is just sort of like my own personal experience.
Oh, incredibly American.
Are camps a thing in Ireland?
Not to the same level at all. Like I remember watching Parent Trap. No.
Sure.
Parent Trap? Yeah.
The one with the Haley Mills? Or the remake with
Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan, yeah.
Yeah. And being like, this is a thing like that the do. It's not really a thing in Ireland.
Like a sleepaway camp?
Yeah,
or a camp in general?
I went to like, no, there's camps, but there's no sleepaway camp really. There's probably a few, but not to the same extent. Like I would have gone to Irish college every year, which would sleep away for 3 weeks. So maybe similar. I don't know.
See, I also never did this. Like I never went to a sleepaway camp.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I had friends who did. I don't know why I never did. I guess maybe one of our listeners who knew me as a kid will write in and tell me.
Fill in that blank.
I went to a lot of day camps, but yeah, I mean, the first time I was sleeping away from home, other than just like sleeping over at a friend's house, was when Princess Diana died, and I was being dropped off at college. But yeah, I mean, I grew up in upstate New York, and there were camps. I mean, the Catskills is full of camps. Like, there's camps everywhere. I just didn't go to them.
Yeah. On the note of it being triggering, I think it's going to be an incredibly, I just think it's going to be a hard topic to even discuss. I'm sorry to have brought a podcast that's going to be triggering for you.
I'm excited to listen to this just because I think it is, personally, some of these things I need to talk about and deal with and process. So I feel like this is actually maybe cathartic for me to hear. Yeah,
same. Like there's, the amount of like things they're mentioning, which is like, oh, this all goes through my head on a constant basis. Where like even like the calorie restrictions, I'm like, oh, I still do a lot of these things. And I go in through waves of like doing them more than others. Like I went onto my Fitness Pal today to be like, okay, so if I have this pear and almond butter, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just counting
You're
calories.
nearly 40. You can't be doing this.
A few weeks ago, I had this new one called My Net Diary, and I stopped a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I was doing 1,700 calories a day.
That's too little for you.
Yeah, I was kind of cranky. And then I got sick. That's when I stopped, when I got sick. Wonder if I got sick because I was calorie deficient.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, it's a wild thing. And I just think like when it's so embedded in your brain, it's really hard to like get it out.
All right. Last thought, last question for you. What do you hope happens in the end of this podcast? What from the preview do you hope to hear more of or differently? Like I have an answer for that, but I'm curious what you think.
I hope that we hear, and I know we didn't in the first episode, but we hear that the intent behind the camp the entire time was to give kids a sanctuary and was to help them get into like better habits. I think my hope is that the intent was constantly there. I feel like surely there was like a good intent behind this, and the execution, obviously, whatever happened was off.
Okay.
I'm hoping we hear a balance of some stories that, obviously are going to, I presume, talk about the trauma and the lasting trauma of this camp, but also talk about some of those moments, like the moment of like the first boyfriend and the first kiss at the camp. And I don't know, is it too like naive to say like there's good and bad and in it all? I don't know.
No, I hope you're right. Somewhat differently, but related. Like what I would like to hear, like I hope it was vaguely alluded to. We didn't really talk about it, that there is some friction with the leadership of the camp. And I'm guessing we're going to hear a bunch more about that. But what I hope is interwoven, or at least there's some place for it in the rest of this, is that some of these kids who are now adults, right? Because some of these people that we heard from went to this camp a long time ago. But I hope that some of them later on in life, even if this camp was maybe a terrible experience or had some really negatives to it, like I hope some of them found, I don't know, just some self-acceptance, some peace with who they are, and a more positive sense of self-worth that maybe this camp did or didn't play a role in affecting. But like I want to hear some stories of like later triumph from some of the people who were campers there in their youth. But this is a true crime podcast, so there's going to be some bad stuff.
Yeah.
Before we go, if you have a strong visceral reaction to what we said today, or if you've listened to Camp Shame and have thoughts on that, ideas for us, leave us a comment. If you're listening to us right now on Spotify, Apple, wherever you are, there's probably the ability to leave a comment, and we'd like to hear from you. So while you're there, also give us a rating if you haven't yet. If you're one of those people, and we know you're out there because we know how many people are listening, and there's a lot of people listening, and the ratio of people listening to people who've left reviews, it's not 100%. So if you're one of those handful of people who are listening right now and have thought, I don't know, I'll get to it right now. Go on, give us a 5-star rating on Apple, Spotify, wherever it is. It helps. We appreciate it. It helps more people find the show. If you're still on the fence about joining patreon.com/so-much-crime, so-much-time, patreon.com/so-much-crime, so-little-time, which you should also do. A gateway drug is leaving us a 5-star rating. Next time, why did Camp Shane, with an N, close down suddenly?
And what happened to all those kids? Jeff, it sounds like the kids all died. What happened to all those kids?
Why doesn't anyone think of the children? We are recapping all of Camp Shame with an M.
That's on the next So Much Crime.
So Little Time with an M.
So Much Crime, So Little Time is a production of MimeGov Media. The executive producer is Paxton Calariso. Our associate producer is Blythe Ty. Theme music was composed by Vyacheslav Starostin. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to this show in your podcast app. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and a review. Even better, tell your friends. To join the discussion, look for us on social media. Check out the show notes for all the links. Thanks for listening.